Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Clinical Explainer. I'm so glad you're here with me because today we are really setting the stage for an absolute masterclass. As future skincare pros and diligent dermatology students, you are going to see clients battling oily skin and congested pores all the time. It's just a fact of the job. But here's the truth. Managing oily skin and really minimizing those client breakouts, it doesn't require some luxury budget or a wildly overwhelming 12-step routine. Today, we're going to learn exactly how to build a highly effective, scientifically backed protocol right on a budget. So let's just dive right in.
I want to hook you guys today with a really critical question. Why do so many oily skin routines just completely fail? I mean, you've seen it, right? Your clients come in super frustrated. They've spent hundreds of dollars on those harsh apricot scrubs and really painful pore strips, only to end up with even more breakouts and a totally wrecked skin barrier. Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. Clinical results require consistent, proper technique, not a massive price tag. So many people are just treating the symptoms incorrectly instead of getting down to the biological root of the problem.
Okay, here's our clinical syllabus for today's session. We're going to cover 1. Clinical skincare for oily pores. 2. The double cleansing protocol. 3. The science of emulsification. 4. Prescribing affordable Korean cleansers. 5. Budget AM and PM routines. And 6. Common mistakes and clay masks.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Clinical Skincare for Oily Pores.
To truly help our clients, we've got to deeply understand the biological root of congestion before we even attempt to treat it, right? So think about open comedons. Your clients will point straight to their nose and complain about quote-unquote dirt stuck in their pores. But as we know, clinically, these are open comedons, or as most people call them, blackheads. They form when excess sebum, the natural oil your skin produces, mixes with dead skin cells and gets trapped inside an open pore. Here is the absolute crucial point to remember. The black color actually comes from oxidation. When that trapped sebum and keratin are exposed to the oxygen in the air, they oxidize and turn dark. It is literally not trapped dirt. Understanding this is the very first step in realizing exactly why aggressive scrubbing or tearing at the skin with pore strips just does not solve the underlying issue.
Moving right along to Section 2, the double cleansing protocol. So, if we can't just scrub it away, what is the actual clinical gold standard for intervention here? Well, think of it kind of like a magnet. The basic chemistry is that like dissolves like. Or simply put, oil dissolves oil. When a client has an overproduction of sebum, applying an oil-based cleanser is hands down the safest and most effective way to attract, bind to, and essentially melt away that excess sebum buildup, along with any waterproof makeup and heavy sunscreens. This is completely unlike those harsh, astringent forming washes that just strip the skin's protective barrier. And when you strip that barrier, the sebaceous glands literally panic and overproduce even more oil to compensate. An oil cleanser deeply cleans the pore while conditioning the skin and locking in that essential moisture.
Which brings us to Section 3, the science of emulsification.
Now, prescribing an oil cleanser is really only half the battle. The physical steps dictate the success of the entire treatment. You have to walk your future client step by step through this mandatory clinical protocol. Step 1 is where so many beginners just fail. You must apply the oil to a dry face with dry hands. If the skin is wet, the water will actually repel the oil, preventing it from ever reaching the sebum in the pore. Step 2, massage in really gentle circular motions to loosen those impurities. Step 3 is where the magic happens. You add a touch of warm water to emulsify the oil. That clear oil will instantly turn into a milky texture. This chemical reaction is everything. It allows the oil, which has now trapped all that bad sebum and dirt, to become water-soluble. And finally, Step 4, rinse it all thoroughly away.
To really finish the double cleansing process, you always have to follow up with a complementary water-based gel or foaming cleanser. Think of it like a 1-2 punch. The oil-based cleanser goes in and does the heavy lifting, right? It dissolves that stubborn, sticky sebum and those blackheads. Then, the water-based cleanser comes in right after to just sweep away any water-based impurities like sweat, environmental dirt, and any tiny little bit of residue that might be left behind. This whole two-step process ensures the pore is absolutely spotless without ever relying on abrasive friction.
All right, let's look at Section 4, Prescribing Affordable Korean Cleansers.
Now that we've got the technique down perfectly, let's open up the clinical dispensary. We're going to review some high-quality, totally budget-friendly product selections that you can confidently prescribe to your clients. In the world of K-beauty, which, as you know, is renowned for these gentle, non-stripping formulations, you'll frequently run into two powerhouse ingredients for oily skin. First is soybean oil. It's fantastic because it's naturally rich, deeply nourishing, and specifically helps lock in moisture to prevent transepidermal water loss. On the flip side, we have heartleaf oil, or Houdunia cordata. This stuff is incredible for clients with sensitive, really acne-prone skin. It actively soothes inflammation, offers a very mild exfoliation, and helps maintain a totally clear complexion. So, depending on whether your client leans a bit more dehydrated or more inflamed, you can prescribe exactly what they need. If you're looking for reliable, super affordable Korean oil cleansers to recommend, La Cosmetic actually has some really fantastic budget options. For those soybean oil benefits we just talked about, the Apu Pore King Minji Cleansing Oil is formulated with 50% soybean oil. It is absolutely exceptional at dissolving heavy makeup and blackheads. Now, for clients needing heartleaf, the Abib Heartleaf Oil Wash is great. It has this really refreshing watery oil texture and features gentle plant-based exfoliating acids. And for your highly sensitive clients, the Goodall Houdunia Cordata Hyaluron Oil is vegan certified, infused with 10 different types of hyaluronic acid, and deeply, deeply soothing. These are all clinically sound, wonderfully low-cost options for your future clients.
Next up, Section 5, Budget AM and PM Routines.
Look, the best product in the world won't work if the client's daily routine is chaotic. So let's see how this all builds into a complete daily regimen. In the AM, you want to prescribe a gentle, water-based cleanser, maybe even one with a little salicylic acid just to penetrate the pore. Follow that up with a niacinamide serum to help regulate that oil production, then a lightweight, non-comedogenic moisturizer, and of course, an oil-controlling sunscreen. And yes, you really have to emphasize to your oily-skinned clients that they must moisturize. Skipping it causes dehydration, which, you guessed it, triggers more oil. In the PM, they'll perform the double cleanse protocol we just learned, follow it with an active treatment like a retinoid or BHA to increase cell turnover, and finish with their moisturizer. Utilizing these active ingredients smartly really proves that a highly effective clinical routine can easily cost under $40 total.
And finally, Section 6, Common Mistakes in Clay Masks.
Before we wrap up today, we absolutely need to troubleshoot a few common beginner errors. When a client comes to you and says, "Oh, oil cleansers break me out," 9 times out of 10, they are simply skipping the emulsification step. Proper cleansing requires adding that splash of water to turn the oil milky, which is what allows the trapped dirt to rinse completely away. Skipping this step means they are literally just smearing dirty oil around their face and leaving it sitting right inside the pore. This causes severe paradoxical acne. They are giving themselves the exact breakouts they are desperately trying to prevent. Emulsification is completely non-negotiable.
Finally, while we strictly advise against those harsh pore vacuums and aggressive pore strips that just rip off healthy skin and cause micro tears, we obviously still want to draw out stubborn impurities. So emphasize incorporating a basic kaolin or bentonite clay mask, but here is the key. Just 1 to 2 times a week, that is the magic number. Used exactly 1 to 2 times weekly, a clay mask acts like a natural sponge, safely absorbing that excess sebum without overstripping the skin's delicate moisture barrier.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer today. We've covered the biology of the pore, the absolute chemistry of double cleansing, and exactly how to build an affordable, foolproof regimen for your clients. So I want to leave you, our future experts, with this thought. Are your clients ready to commit to clinical consistency over expensive, flashy gimmicks? Because true skin health doesn't come from a quick fix pore strip, right? It comes from understanding the actual science of the pore and tending to it properly every single day. Keep this knowledge close, use it well, and I will see you in our next explainer.